Thank you for joining us for the Introduction to HMIS Data Entry Training Part 5, Interims. I am Andrea Carey, a System Administrator for the NCCEH Data Center. Our agenda will cover what is a Project Interim, Project Interim dates, Project Interim types, both updates and annual assessments, and how to record Project Interims in HMIS. First up, a reminder about what Project Interims are. Most data collected at Project Start is a baseline for the client's situation or context that you hope to change by the end of your engagement. For example, an outcome goal would be to increase income for a household or to find housing and have a client move in. You can record these changes through an interim. Interims also allow projects, agencies, and funders to measure changes between the client's initial start data and at various points throughout engagement. This in turn allows us to see what efforts work to house clients and what doesn't. They are also required to keep HMIS accurate. Project interim date is determined by when the client notifies an agency about changes. The only exception is for housing move-in dates. The interim should be recorded with the same date as the move-in. Let's look at an example. A current client gets a job on September 22nd. At the next case management meeting on October 3rd, the housing navigator learns of this increase in income. Here's a visual timeline of the example. What is the date of the project interim? October 3rd. This is when the information was collected by the project staff. There are two types of interims. Updates record a client's changing circumstances at any time between project start and project exit. Interim updates can and should be used by every project type, document positive outcomes or negative obstacles, and are the only ways to record housing move-in dates. Alright, just to be clear, if a housing move-in date is known, the housing move-in date must be entered through an interim update between the start and exit dates. And this is for rapid rehousing and permanent supportive housing projects. Remember, if a client is not housed with services or financial support from your project, do not enter a housing move-in date. And housing move-in dates only apply to PSH projects if they are paying financial assistance. So, do not enter for any homeless prevention, emergency shelter, transitional housing, supportive services only clients. The exit destination and exit housing assessment questions will reflect the success of finding permanent housing instead. Annual assessments are the second type of interim. It records a client's maintained or changing circumstances between project start and project exit every year enrolled. There is a very specific time frame to record annual assessments precisely calculated in HMIS. All clients enrolled in a single HMIS project for a year or more must have an annual recorded within 30 days before or after their head of household's anniversary date. If the data is entered outside that time frame, it will look like it's missing from reports altogether. Annuals help clients by requiring, at the very least, an annual check-in and an opportunity for the annual privacy conversation to prepare for electronic ROI renewal. This also helps the system by providing standard data collection for if and how clients change throughout enrollment. Annual reviews are unlikely to be used by projects that have only short stays. Let's dive a little deeper into when this annual assessment is required. 30 days before or after the head of household's anniversary date. The anniversary date is calculated from the head of household's project start date, so the entire household annual assessment can occur at the same time. For example, if Natalie and Mercedes enter August 1st, 2018, their annual assessment could be between July 2nd and August 30th. Using our example where Natalie and Mercedes entered the project on August 1st, let's check your knowledge. When would Aunt Lacey's anniversary be if she joined Natalie's household in their apartment on April 1st of their first year? Would it be April 2nd to May 2nd, July 2nd to August 30th, March 2nd to April 30th, or none? July 2nd to August 30th. Because Natalie is the head of household, it is her project start date that determines the annual assessment, not Aunt Lacey's. Now let's look at the steps to enter Project Interims into HMIS. Start on your head of household's profile, then go to the Entry Exit tab. Find the column labeled Interims and click on the document icon to add the project interim. A pop-up window will appear and let you know if there are any interims already recorded. Click on the Add Interim Review button. On the next window, confirm the interim review details. Notice that the client you started on has their box already checked and grayed out. This client is automatically included. Then notice the checkbox next to the household type. If this is selected, all the members beneath it will be included. Also check your project name. If the project is not correct, cancel this project interim and check your EDA mode, either default or manually selected. You may need to enter a new electronic ROI if it's incorrect. Finally, check your review date. If that review date is not correct, back out and change your backdate mode. Select the interim review type. Use either Update or Annual Assessment. Then click Save and Exit. Now the top of the Project Interim Assessment shows information confirmed in the last window: the project, the interim type, and the interim review date. If you scroll down, you will find the editable areas of the interim assessment. On the left-hand side are the household members, just like in the Project Start assessment. Use this area to switch between different clients' assessments. The one highlighted in blue is the client whose responses you're looking at. The interim assessment questions are in the same order as they appeared on the Project Start assessment. One data element that was not on the Project Start assessment is housing move-in date. That is midway down the assessment, just before income. Complete any responses that need updates, and then scroll to the bottom to click Save and Exit. Some special reminders in summary. Changes are captured in Service Point through interim reviews. Always check your EDA and backdate mode before entering an interim. Add the interim on the Entry Exit tab and then look to the interim's document icon. There are two types depending on when that data is collected. Updates can be collected at any time and are only required for housing move-in dates. Annual assessments are required for clients with 1 year in a single HMIS project within 30 days, plus or minus the head of household's anniversary. This concludes the Introduction to HMIS Data Entry Training Part 5, Interims.